In this lesson, we are going to look at a template that you can use for writing and speaking questions on the Duolingo English Test. You can use this template when you are asked to state your opinion. Here are some example questions from the DET for which you could use this template. Some people believe that sports should be a required subject in schools, while others think it should be optional. What is your opinion? Use examples to support your opinion. Many people believe that technology has made life easier, while others argue that it has made life more complicated. What is your opinion on this matter? Provide reasons and examples to support your view. Do you think it's more important to focus on individual happiness or societal well-being? Explain your reasoning and provide examples to support your opinion. And finally, is it important to get your news from multiple different sources? Why or why not? How do you determine whether a source is trustworthy or not? Give reasons to support your opinion. For all of those questions, you can use the template that I am about to teach you. And this template is fundamentally very simple. Here's what it consists of. First, you're going to begin your response by stating your opinion or your preference. Then, you are going to provide 2 or 3 reasons why you hold that opinion. And that's it. It really is that simple fundamentally. Next, I'm going to explain each of these things in detail so that you know exactly what to do. Let's take this example and construct a high-scoring response using this template. Again, this prompt is, many people believe that technology has made life easier, while others argue that it has made life more complicated. What is your opinion on this matter? Provide reasons and examples to support your view. So, as always, let's begin by stating our opinion or our preference clearly. So my opinion is that technology has made life easier. So in the initial 20 or 30 seconds that you are given to plan your response on the test to the speaking sample or the writing sample or the other writing and speaking questions, this is what you want to do first. During that time, you want to identify your opinion. That is key. Then I want to also think of 2 or 3 reasons why I believe that technology has made our lives easier. So, first, technology has made it easier to communicate with people. Second, technology allows us to enjoy longer, healthier lives. And finally, technology allows us to more easily learn about new topics and gain valuable skills. On the test, generally speaking, you are going to need fewer ideas for writing questions and more ideas for speaking questions. This is because we speak faster than we write. So, for speaking questions, you are going to need more ideas to fill up your response. In other words, for writing questions, you probably will only need 2 supporting ideas, but for speaking questions, I would recommend coming up with 3 supporting ideas so that you can be sure that you speak for the entire time, which will help you to get a higher score. All right, so now that I have my plan or my outline, my main ideas here, let's now turn this into a high-scoring response. Your introduction should consist of 2 sentences. The first sentence should look like this. Although plus the other side of the argument plus in my view and then your opinion plus on balance. That's the equation or the formula, if you will. So here's an example. Although technology has made our lives more complicated in some ways, in my view, it has made our lives easier on balance. So this is a very elegant sentence. It uses complex grammar and advanced vocabulary to frame your response. So what you will do is you will concede that Technology has made our lives more complicated, right? So that's the other side of the argument. But then you say, in my view, it has made our lives easier on balance or overall. So this is a nice way to recognize that it is a complicated issue, that there is room for debate, but that, however, on balance, you believe that technology has made our lives easier. Here is another template that you can use if you are given another question on the test that asks you to state your opinion. It's best to use different vocabulary in different questions. You will get more points that way. So this is a very similar template to the first one, but it starts with while, plus the other side of the argument, plus I am of the opinion that overall, plus your opinion. So it's the same idea as the previous template, just using slightly different vocabulary. So the example is, while technology has made our lives more complicated in some ways, I am of the opinion that overall it has made our lives easier. So those are two templates that you can use for the first sentence of your introduction. For the second sentence, it is much simpler. Here are your options. One, and in my opinion, this is the best one, the highest scoring one. There are three primary reasons for which I hold this view. Or you could say, I hold this opinion for three main reasons. Or you could say, I hold this opinion for the following three reasons. Again, the first option here is the most advanced because it uses the most complex grammar, but all three will work. So, combining the first and second sentences of our introduction, here is our response so far. Although technology has made our lives more complicated in some ways, in my view, it has made our lives easier on balance. There are three primary reasons for which I hold this view. This introduction is very strong. It states your opinion very clearly so that the reader knows exactly what you believe, and then you signpost or indicate to the reader what you are going to do next. Specifically, you are now going to list out the reasons why you believe that technology has made our lives easier. So your response is very easy for the reader or the grader to understand. Okay, let's look at the templates for the body paragraphs in which you list out your reasons and explain why you believe what you believe. So the topic sentence for body paragraph number 1, you have the following options. 1, the primary reason is that. 2, the most notable reason is that. 3, most significantly. And 4 is first. So all 4 of these work just fine. First is the easiest to remember, but it's not the most complex or advanced. The first 3 are more advanced and will get you some more points if you can remember them. So here are examples of how to use each one. The primary reason is that technology has made it easier to communicate with people. The most notable reason is that technology has made it easier to communicate with people. Number 3, most significantly, technology has made it easier to communicate with people. And finally, first, technology has made it easier to communicate with people. Okay. Again, if you can remember all 4 and use them in different responses, then you will gain even more points because Duolingo rewards you for a diversity of vocabulary. So it's best to not just memorize one version of a sentence, but if you can memorize multiple so that you can use different templates in different questions, that really is the best. In your body paragraph, you also need to provide an example or provide evidence. If you want more information about how to construct high-scoring paragraphs, you should check out our other video, which I'll link to up here. So to provide an example, here is the vocabulary that you can use. To demonstrate with an example, an illustrative example or illustrative example is that. 3, for example, and 4, for instance. And here's what the full sentences would look like. To demonstrate with an example, I have friends that live in Europe and Asia, and we can video chat anytime. An illustrative example is that I have friends that live in Europe and Asia, and we can video chat anytime. For example, I have friends that live in Europe and Asia, and we can video chat anytime. Finally, for instance, I have friends that live in Europe and Asia, and we can video chat anytime. So those are templates that you can use for the topic sentence of paragraph number 1, and then to transition to your example. So using those, we can fill out the rest of our paragraph, and it would look like this. The primary reason is that technology has made it easier to communicate with people. To demonstrate with an example, I have friends that live in Europe and Asia, and we can video chat anytime. We don't have to spend the time or the money to travel to see one another in person in order to maintain our close friendship. Okay, before we look at how you can construct the remaining body paragraphs, I wanted to take a moment to let you know about Arno. In Arno, you get unlimited practice questions for every question type on the Duolingo English Test for free. And if you upgrade to one of our paid plans, then you can access our advanced instant AI scoring and feedback that will show you exactly where you can improve your grammar and vocabulary to get a higher score. We also have full mock tests with detailed feedback on all of your answers, as well as individual subscores. We have a vocabulary builder. We have grammar exercises. We just have a ton of stuff that will help you get ready for the DET. So to check all of that out, just head over to goarno.io and create your free account. Okay, let's get back to the rest of the lesson. Let's look at how you can construct body paragraph number 2, starting with the topic sentence. The second reason is that. Another notable reason is that. Second most significantly, and second. Let's now look at the full example sentences with each of these. The second reason is that technology allows us to enjoy longer, healthier lives. Another notable reason is that technology allows us to enjoy longer, healthier lives. Second most significantly, technology allows us to enjoy longer, healthier lives. And finally, second, technology allows us to enjoy longer, healthier lives. Now that we have our topic sentence, we can combine it with the vocabulary that we looked at before to introduce an example to construct a strong second body paragraph. Here's an example in full. Second most significantly, technology allows us to enjoy longer, healthier lives. In the past, people did not live as long, and they suffered more frequently from diseases. An illustrative example is that technological breakthroughs like MRI machines provide more detailed scans of the body, and doctors can more quickly and accurately detect diseases. This allows us to receive better medical care, which contributes to our longevity and life satisfaction. Now, if you were working on a writing question, this would already be a very strong response and quite long. However, for speaking questions, depending on how fast you speak, you may need a third idea. So let's look at that. Here are the options for the topic sentence for your third body paragraph. The third reason is that. Yet another notable reason is that. Or, finally, or third. And here are the full examples. The third reason is that technology allows us to more easily learn about new topics and gain valuable skills. Yet another notable reason is that technology allows us to more easily learn about new topics and gain valuable skills. Finally, technology allows us to more easily learn about new topics and gain valuable skills. Finally, third, technology allows us to more easily learn about new topics and gain valuable skills. Let's look at the third full body paragraph. Yet another notable reason is that technology allows us to more easily learn about new topics and gain valuable skills. For example, there are sites like Khan Academy. They're for free. Anyone in the world can access expert instruction in almost any academic subject like mathematics, physics, biology, or even economics and finance. I personally use Khan Academy throughout my studies, and it allowed me to master the material, get better grades, and ultimately succeed in my career. The final piece that we can add to our response is a strong conclusion. Now, a conclusion is not necessary to have a high scoring response. I know because on the DET, I've taken it twice. I got 160 out of 160, a perfect score both times, and none of my responses had a conclusion. However, if you have the time, then you can add a conclusion, especially because there is a simple template, which I'm about to teach you, that you can use to quickly produce a strong conclusion. So let's look at that. Here are your options. In sum, for the reasons provided above. To sum up, for the reasons provided above. In conclusion, for the reasons provided above. And to conclude, for the reasons provided above. So these are all equally complex, and they are not particularly advanced because I don't think adding a conclusion gains you many points on the test. The reason is that it doesn't really add new information to your response. It's better to add new ideas so that you can add new vocabulary to your response. But here are the full examples. In sum, for the reasons provided above, in my opinion, technology has made our lives easier in more ways than it has made our lives more complicated. So after the beginnings, what you want to do is restate your main opinion, ideally using slightly different language than you did at the beginning. So that's all I do here, is I say that technology has made our lives easier in more ways than it has made our lives more complicated. That's my main opinion, and I just restate it with slightly different vocabulary. Second, to sum up, for the reasons provided above, in my opinion, technology has made our lives easier in more ways than it has made our lives more complicated. And then third and fourth, you get the idea. So then our full response would look like this. In sum, for the reasons provided above, in my opinion, technology has made our lives easier in more ways than it has made our lives more complicated. So we just covered a ton. Let's do a quick recap of the main things that you should remember from this lesson. Also be sure to check out our PDF download with all the key information from this lesson so that you can refer to it as you are preparing for the test. 1. Start by stating your opinion clearly. This is the most important thing for questions that ask you about your opinion. Start by stating your opinion clearly. This makes your response easy to follow and naturally gives it a strong and clean organization, which will gain you points on the test. Then list 2 or 3 reasons why you hold that opinion. Again, generally speaking, for writing questions, you will need 2 opinions. For speaking questions, you may need 3 opinions depending on how quickly you speak. In each body paragraph in which you explain the reasons why you hold that opinion, you want to do the following. Use a strong topic sentence. 2. Use connecting words at the beginning of your topic sentence and your paragraph. So in this lesson, we covered the highest scoring connecting words that you can use for each of your body paragraphs. 3, include an example or some kind of evidence to convince the reader of that reason. And finally, make a clear connection between your reason and the question. So you need to be sure that it is clear to your reader why this reason that you are explaining supports your main opinion. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe. That way we know that we should make more lessons like this. From here, I would highly recommend that you check out our other lesson on how to construct high-scoring paragraphs. We touched upon a lot of that material here, but in that lesson, I will explain very clearly how to construct paragraphs so that you get maximum points on the Duolingo English test. I'll see you over in that lesson.